G'day everyone. So it's been a while, and it's probably the first, I don't know if this will be the first video of 2026. What is it? I think it's the 23rd or 24th. 23rd today, Friday. And, it's been a while since I've had the bike actually sitting here ready for about 3 weeks, ready to go for a ride. I think probably a good 3 weeks, maybe more, since probably late last year, and it just hasn't happened. But actually, there's a few things I wanted to say too for the channel. I've got to say thanks to everybody who still watches my videos. I'm pretty much at the point where I just feel like throwing it all in, what do I even bother? And I know it sounds terrible. I got to that point, with the, I don't know if you can see the bike, got the old sheepskin. I got to the point where I just thought, why do I even bother with the YouTube, and who cares about my videos and all the rest of it? And I sort of lost my way a bit, if that makes sense. Just checking the tools as we go along. I got chain lube, I got tire repair stuff, spare glasses, my pump, spare gloves. So it's hot. It's hot, man. It's really hot. It's in the 30s. We haven't had any cool cold day reliefs up here in Albury. It's just been really hot, and this week's going to be another 40 plus next few days. It's going to be 37 tomorrow. And the group that I go with, planning a ride tomorrow. But going back to what I was saying, I sort of gave up. I sort of really looked at all my videos, and I thought, man, they're boring. They're boring. I just felt like just closing the channel and be done with it. And I started thinking, well, why do I have a channel in the first place? Why did I start it? Well, I'll tell you. I'm in my 60s now, right? I'm a heavy boy. I'm not light. I won't lie to you. I hate the fact that I've put on weight and all the rest of it. But this is the only sanity you get, in your old age. It's not the only one, but you know what I mean. It's a real relief for a lot of blokes who ride. They, even women. It is just a good outlet. It just clears your mind and just gets you away from everything. Out of all of the news, the bad news that we hear. This is one thing that really is, it's just the last, what's the word? It's the best medicine, if you know what I mean. It's one of the best medicines you can have riding a bike. And so I started thinking, why do I even do these videos? And I thought, well, then I went back to my original, I guess, first video, and that was all about me getting back into motorbikes. And I started off with a scooter. Actually, funny enough, it didn't last long. But at the time, I was waiting for hip surgery, and I couldn't really put my feet down and all the rest. It was just uncomfortable. They had a wide seat. It was probably a comfortable seat when you're riding, but just trying to split your legs and, with your hips and all that, it just really hurt me. So I got rid of that and got a normal bike, which is the CF Moto, which is amazing bike. Amazing. Like for the bang for buck, it's just been an awesome bike. And I've spent lots of videos talking about it, all the pluses and how good it is and all the rest. And got quite a few blokes have brought bikes because of this. Now, there's a new model that's come out, and this model is superseded, right? So, do I keep going and talking about this bike? Do I keep, do I upgrade my bike? What do I do? Do I go get that little 450 that everybody's got and talk about it, make another, vlog about that? I thought, no. This bike is one of those bikes that when I first saw it, I fell in love with the looks of it. I just love the looks of this bike. It's just one of the coolest looking bikes on the market, and still, even today, even though they brought out a new one, the MT700, mechanically it looks similar, but the wheels and all that and the chassis been changed to look like the 800 and the 450. It's more like a off-road sort of thing, an adventure bike, whereas this was more, it's got 17-inch wheels. It's more like a road bike. They say it's a multi-tourer and all that MT stands for, but at the end of the day, it's still to me, it's more a road bike than it is a off-road bike. But having said that, I've seen some of the videos, other people who've, like the French team that took it all across South America, and they did an amazing film a few years back, and they took this bike off-road I couldn't believe where they, river crossings and all that. I couldn't imagine doing that with this bike. But anyway, they did it, and good on them. They did an amazing job with the MT 700s, and I still love talking about this bike. And the reason I like this one particularly is because, unlike the other ones, the 800 and the 450 are probably more aligned with a KTM sort of roots, whereas this has got Kawasaki roots. If you study or if you look into CF Moto, they did have an agreement or some sort of business agreement with Kawasaki, and that quickly didn't last as long as KTM. And what they did, they got the design of Kawasaki and made the 650 MT and used that twin-cylinder 650 and made all their other bikes, the GT 650 and the Naked 650 and all the rest of it. They started off with a mid-sized bike and super reliable, I might say. Now, I don't treat this bike easy when I ride it. I don't nurse it, if you know what I mean. And I've even changed the rear sprocket to give it a bit more taller gearing. So I've gone from a 46 to a 43 tooth sprocket, and it seems to run a bit better on the juice and a bit smoother. You don't have to redline every gear you're in, so it's good. It's a lot better. So I sort of stopped talking about the bike, and I just let my videos play out, and all you see is roads and long roads, and what do you see? Nothing. You look at it and you think, oh yeah, okay, just a road, mate. What do I'm not talking. I don't sort of put too much effort into the videos anymore. I've really dropped the ball, so this year I don't think I'm gonna, unless I've got something good to say, I'm not going to put a video up. Tomorrow we're going for a ride. If I record something and I can put something, some voice on it, good. Otherwise, I won't even bother, because it's like I said, it's going to be 37 degrees. The bike's been sitting here for 3 weeks. The tyres all feel all right. I don't even think I'll check the tyre pressures, because I had them high before and they seem okay. Oil's good, chain's good. I'm just going to put a bit of, I don't know if you've ever seen this product. This is, it gets rid of the squeaks in the brakes. Now, they say you've got to pull the whole brake pad and caliper and all that apart. Bullshit. I'm just going to spray some on a bit of a rag and run it over the disc. And what it does, it tends to stop the squealing. Now, on this particular model, I don't know what it is, but there's every few bikes just get a squealing rear brake, and it just wrecks me videos. It just pees me right off. And so I'm going to put some of this stuff at work. So I tried it. I could not believe how good it works. Actually, it takes all the squeak out of the rear brake. And even though I've taken off the pads and had them, roughed up and that, it didn't do much. And I think it's the compound of the Chinese brake pads. Look, they work. They're probably not as good as a proper European made or whatever Japanese made brake pad, but they're cheap. They're just cheap bits, right? The bike itself, the frame, the chassis, I can't believe the welds on this bike. They're just unbelievable, the quality. And I used to sell engineering supplies, so I know a good weld. I mean, I'm no welder, but just if you have a look at some of the robotic welds on this, and it is built well. It's a solid unit. And the other thing too, I know the 800s are having trouble with the back swing arms. They're having a bit of trouble with the axles and all the aluminium cracking around it. Whereas this is more made like the Kawasaki rear swing arm. I'm talking about this part here, where the axle is, right? The 800s are having a bit of trouble now after a few years. I've had because I follow the forums, they're having a bit of issue with the whole casing, all the surrounding there just cracking. And maybe the bike shops or the home mechanics aren't lining them up properly and aren't torquing them right, and that's probably causing it. So, whereas this is a little bit different. So I like this one better. So the 700, I don't know, I didn't pay attention to the new 700, if it's got the same swing arm. I think it has, because it's got the same offset rear shock, where it sits on one side of the arms of the swing arm. So I would say they'd be the same. So they're solid units. Really solid, beefy swing arm on the back. And the thing I like about these CF Motos, they come with crash bars, and this particular model, they came with a really decent a decent crash bar thing, and rather than just having just a couple of side bars there, these things here, when I fell over, when I had me hip problem, I remember stopping one time and the bike tipped over because I couldn't hold it on my left. I couldn't hold it on my left side, and because they stick out so much, you've got a different level of protection on there. So it is a real plus, real plus. The other thing too, I've said this before on this bike, is the I don't know if you can see the foot pegs. These are actually I think they're off Honda foot peg. I've actually just sanded them down a little bit just to make them fit. But I don't like these adventure bike pegs, those big square bricks. Every time you go to swing your foot, it's just garbage. I can't do it. Whereas these ones are just like normal motorbike foot pegs, and I prefer that. The other thing too I've got here is I don't know if you can see this. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I found this on AliExpress. It's a little bar, like a tube. It's probably about 25, 30 mil. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see. And it actually fits really well onto the handlebars, right? It's got a couple of brackets, a couple of arms there, and I'm able to fit a lot more stuff on here. Whereas I was limited for space on here. Whereas the other bikes seem to have a bit more room on their bike and on here and whatnot. So you're probably noticing all these brackets on my mirrors. These are actually for my cameras. I'm trying the old GoPro again. I haven't bothered with the GoPro because I've had trouble with the batteries. They always seem to, stuff up on me, so I gave up on them. But this one, I can actually charge as I ride. And I don't know if you can see this, what I've done. There's a, this is actually like a little USB hub that I've plugged into the USB connector. And I run my phone charging off there. I run my GPS off there. This is only a cheap one. It's the FOD Sports. It's only 107. What was it? 100 and something bucks, but it works. It's basic, but it works. Okay, so if you can afford a Garmin, grab a Garmin or a TomTom. But this will get you out of trouble if you need it. Right? It'll get you to your destination. This is just my remote control for my Insta360. Fits on there nicely. So you can see I've got a little hub with 4 or 5 USB ports that I can plug my phone, my GPS, my camera, and no issue while you're riding. So it works well. And the other thing too with this particular model, it's got the 43 mil upside down KYB front forks. Excellent, I've got to say. I've had them too hard in the past. I've actually backed them off a bit now. After a long trip, you do get tired, getting jolted and that. So I've backed off the damping and the preload, and yeah, they're great. They work really well on the front. They're very beefy forks, 43 mil upside down forks, 300 mil caliper, 300 mil discs at the front with the JG1 four pot calipers. They work well. They and mind you, I've still got the original pads on there, the cheap Chinese pads, and they're working okay. Maybe I'll upgrade them to a normal whatever it is, a normal Jap or European brand caliper. But yeah, it's all working okay. It's going good. So that's it. I really wanted to get that off my chest. I'm really just at the crossroads. I'm at the crossroads with the YouTube channel. I really am. I've got to pull my finger out, or I've just got to get out altogether, because apart from motorbikes, I do have other social media stuff going on, and one of the things that I am is I don't want to brag or put myself on the pedestal, but I also do a lot of Christian stuff and a lot of ministry, and I'm across another social media stream. And it's going really good. It's really popular, and I've probably put all my effort into that and neglected all this stuff. So maybe that's what's, that's probably caused a bit of this, I guess. I've sort of tried to slap bang and put together a video for the motorbike channel just to, show the ride, and neglected to put effort into it, So that's been That's been a big negative. So as I said, it's either I'm at the crossroads. If I don't pull my finger out and put a bit more effort into this, I'm doing it myself injustice, and I'm doing my subscribers an injustice. So I'll just see how we go the next few weeks with the bike riding. But having said that, I love motorcycling. I love touring. I love traveling and doing a few overnighters here and there. I love it. I just think it's a buzz, and I'm actually seriously thinking of going back over some of my old footage and re-editing it, and just putting a bit more effort into them, because they are really good locations and good good quality video, and being in this location too. One of the things I've got to say is, let me just check my petrol. The other thing, before I continue, I love the, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if the camera's any good, but I love the screens, these TFT screens, or whatever they are. They are awesome. I've never had that in the old bikes. I'm used to the old Quackers and the old Hondas, the old analog things, whereas this thing is great. You've got your liters, your fuel, you've got your trip, you've got your, everything, your voltage, the whole lot. And this is the thing I was telling you about. FOD Sport. It's only cheap, but it does the job. So if you got, if you don't want to spend a lot of money and you just want something, whereas when your phone stops working, you can certainly get something like this on. See that's the GoPro. That's charging. You can see the battery charging there, because that's running to the USB port down here. So there you go. Set your destination. It's probably not the brightest or best thing. It's just like having a cheap car one, but it does the job. So, and that all runs off the USB. Anyway, so end power, that'll shut off by itself. Don't worry. Anyway, I think I've said too much. Anyway, guys, if you've got any comments, if you reckon I should quit altogether, let me know. But otherwise, have a great, blessed day.